Hello traders, in this video I want to share with you the 4 reasons why traders fail their prop trading challenge. Number 1, lack of risk management strategy. Let's go to our dashboard here, and as we can see, the maximum daily loss is really clear. We have a maximum daily loss of 5%. It will even show you the limit in amounts based on your balance, and it will also update based on your equity, so you will always have a limit that will update here. Then you will also have your maximum total loss, which is very important. That will also update just like the daily loss. Being at 5%, the maximum total loss will be at 10%. It will update based on your equity. So if you have some profits, then the maximum daily loss and total loss will increase. If you have a floating loss or closed loss, then the maximum total loss and daily loss will decrease. And on the other hand, you will have your profit target that will also show and evolve based on your profit and loss as well, with your target and the current results. Now, based on those parameters, you will have to develop a risk strategy, a risk management strategy. Let me give you 3 examples right here. Let's open a whiteboard. So as you can see here, I have created 3 models, one conservative, one moderate, and one aggressive. In the conservative, you will have a loss per position or per basket of position in which you will close at 0.3%. So if you open one or several positions, if you lose an extra 0.3%, you will close again. And once again, a 3rd time in a row, I'm just showing you the worst case scenario in which you will lose 3 times in a row, then you will be at minus 0.9%. Now, why 0.3%? It's really important because the objective, and let's go back to our dashboards, you have a maximum time of 45 days per challenge. So on the first phase, you will have 45 days. On the second phase, you will have 45 days. You have a minimum trading days of 3, but obviously you can use all those 45 days to pass the challenge. You don't need to rush it, and this is one of the biggest mistakes that traders do, but it's coming a bit later. So as you have a maximum of 45 days, let's go back now to our drawing board. Let's say that if I include the weekends, then out of those 45 days I will have 30 trading days. So I will write here 30 days with a total objective, a target of 8%. And so I will write here 8%. So 8% divided by 30 days is 0.266. So let's say 0.27, and let's even round it up at 0.3. That's the reason why I choose an objective or a loss of 0.3, because if you have an average of 0.3% for 30 days, then within those 45 days, you will complete the 8%. Of course, I will show you why being too conservative can also have a disadvantage compared to being moderate. But let's stay with me on this objective right now. So if I lose 0.3%, to go back to 0, I started at 100%, I lost 0.3. If I'm just trying to recover the 0.3%, I would need to make 0.301%. So that's a 0.01% difference to go back to break even. That's very achievable. Now, if initially I wanted to make 0.3% profit and I made 0.3% loss, so to get back into the profits, which was the initial objective, I would need to have 0.602. So the difference between making 0.3% initially as a profit or making 0.3 loss and recovering everything is very minimal. Now, if I continue and I have 2 losses in a row, let's say 2 days in a row or 2 trades in a row, I would have 0.604 to recover to break even, and 1.206 to get back into profits. So the difference, as you can see, it's very, very low. And I continue to 0.9, same thing. As you can see, 0.9 multiplied by 2 is 1.8. But if I made this loss, as I have to recover it, I have a little bit more. I have 0.018%. So as you can see, when you're very conservative, it doesn't matter even if you have 3 bad days in a row, 3 bad trades, and I could continue to the 4th, to the 5th, then the recovery is not much harder. So when you are conservative, you can still make mistakes, you can still have bad trading days or bad positions, but you can still recover pretty easily. Now let's go to the moderates. And now I will have a 1% drawdown per position or per day, let's say. So if I lost 1% to get back to the break even to 0, I would need to make 1.01. The difference is only 0.01%. That's once again very achievable. And to get back to that profit, 2.02. Now for 2%, 204 and 408. The difference is only 0.8. 3, 309, 6.18. Now you will understand what are the colors about. Because do not forget that if I lost right here 0.9, I still have a maximum daily loss of 5%. So as I already almost lost 1%, I will have 4.1% to recover 1.8% back. It's very achievable. I still have a pretty strong risk reward ratio, knowing that I can even have a couple more losses, but I will still be able to recover if I start to have profitable positions. But now, if I have 3% loss, on that day, I have only 2% left. To recover 3%, that's already a risk reward ratio that is over 1 to 1, because I have 2% left to make back 3%. But even if I wait a new day and I have a new 5% additional for that day, well, I will have 5% to make 3%. Obviously, I don't need to make it back in one day. I'm just giving general examples because we cannot get into 50 different scenarios. Overall, either I make it in one day or several positions, I still have a daily loss of 5% to make back 3%. Now I have a daily loss of 5% to get back into profit of 6%. It's still doable. I just need to make sure that I always lose less than I make profit and recover it into few days. So even with a moderate strategy, by having a bad period, by having a bad hit, I can still mathematically, statistically recover to break even and potentially to profit and achieve my objective. Now, if we go to aggressive, in which you open high position, high volume, or lots of different position, and you have a maximum loss of 3%, after which you will close. So if you have 3%, that's the same example as the 3 days in a row for the moderate, but now that's only in one position or one day. So I have again 3.01 and 6.18. But now on the second scenario, if I lost 6%, I need to recover again 6.38% just to get back to zero. Obviously the 6%, I didn't lose them in one day. It could be at least 2 or more because I can't lose more than 5% in a day. So let's say I lost 3% one day, the following day I lost another 3%. Now if I'm trying to get back to break even in one day, it will be very difficult because if I lost 3% on that day, I have 2% left for the day and I need to recover 6%. Now the risk reward ratio is already 1 to 3. I need to make 3 times more the profit than the risk I'm taking. But if I do it slowly in several days, I will still have a maximum daily loss of 5% to recover that 6. And if I want to get back into profit, I will have for the next following days a maximum daily loss of 5% to recover 13%. So obviously, I would need to be very careful and make sure that I spread the recovery of the account on several days, because otherwise I will be taking too much risk to get back into profit. And now if I am at 9%, well, since the total maximum loss is at 10%, I have only 1% left. To get back to break even, I need 9.90%. So I would need to get back into a very conservative strategy, because as soon as I'm taking an extra 1% risk, then my total loss is reached. And I need 9%, so that's a ratio of 1 to 9 to recover. But to get back into profits of what I lost, the 9% loss to get to an objective of 9% profit is 20% profit that I would need to make with the 1% left. If I recover slowly, I will have 2% left if I'm getting an extra percent, if I'm getting an extra 2%. So this scenario here, when you get above 8-9% total loss, puts you in a very difficult situation. And so that's the reason why you need to have a very strict risk management strategy. And how do you develop a right risk management strategy? By making a plan of your position sizing based on your account balance, your maximum loss per position, making sure that you're setting stop losses as well as take profit, respecting a risk reward ratio of at least 1 to 1 while the better risk-reward ratio are 1 to 2 and 1 to 3, they are not always achievable. So at least 1 to 1 with the right position sizing, with the right stop loss and take profit, with the right risk-reward ratio, making sure that you monitor your daily loss, getting as far as possible of the 5% daily loss and as far as possible of 8% or worse maximum loss, then you always have a chance to recover. And on the next video, we will speak about the second reason why traders fail, which is the lack of discipline. Bye bye, and all the best to you all traders.